Pop quiz. What is the definition of science? I'll give you some time to think. Do you need more time? What's your answer? So most students would probably say something like, science is everything we know about the universe. And that is part of it. But science is not just what we know, but it's also how we know it. I'll say that again. Science is not just what we know about the universe, but the method or how we came to know what is true about the universe. So now I'm going to demonstrate the scientific method using an example. In order to review the scientific method, I'm going to use the example of my favorite basketball player, LeBron James.
Green, Posey will defend. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
The first step of the scientific method is to make an observation about the universe. So in my example, you can say, LeBron noticed that his free throw percentage was too low. LeBron made an observation. That's always the first step of the scientific method. What's the second step? Once you observe something, you start asking yourself questions about what you saw. So LeBron asks himself, can I change something about how I shoot free throws in order to make more free throws? In order to start answering that question, LeBron has to do some research and maybe ask some other people how they shoot free throws so well. So he's going to interview other NBA players. Research. Step 4 is to form a hypothesis or prediction. So if LeBron comes up with his own ritual, then maybe he'll be able to shoot free throws better. Now he actually has to test this hypothesis. Oh, and by the way, the hypothesis had to be formed after the research. Always research before your hypothesis. So once he's ready to test, then you actually have to design an experiment. So LeBron would probably split his NBA season. In one game, he would perform a free throw ritual, and in the other game, he would not perform a free throw ritual. And then he would compare after the full season is done. Whenever you do an experiment, you also want to get a big sample size. So he wants to try this for many games, many free throws. So here's LeBron's data, which is step 6. It looks like he tried each one for 41 games, so no ritual for 41 games with a ritual, and it looks like his ritual helped with the free throws. And that is the conclusion. So in a conclusion, you must state that the hypothesis is correct or the hypothesis is incorrect. And so when we look at the data, it looks like the ritual does help with free throws. The hypothesis is supported. And that's not the end of science. The last step of science is to share your results with other people. So LeBron told all of his teammates that they should also create a free throw routine. And he can share it with whoever he wants. So scientists talk to each other, they go to conferences, they communicate with each other. So again, the order of the scientific method is to make an observation, ask a question, do some background research, form a prediction or hypothesis, do your experiment, get some data from your experiment, conclude and say if your hypothesis is correct or incorrect, And finally, to share with other people, because you don't just want to keep it to yourself. Now, the scientific method is not always a straight line. Sometimes you'll go all the way till the end, and then you'll go back and ask another question or make another observation. So it can jump all over the place, even though we usually teach it as a straight line. It's more of a cycle, but sometimes you might get kind of hung up at a certain step of this, and you might have to go backwards, and you might have to cycle all around over and over again. Always improving what you know about the universe.